Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 704 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Malda, and I am joined, unsurprisingly, by Chris DeBona.
Hi.
And Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
Gentlemen, we made it. We survived medical maelstroms. We survived technical difficulties, and we're here.
Did we?
Did we?
No.
Did we really?
It's all downhill from here. Getting old is stupid.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Well, we got a shorter list today of stuff on the Taco Zone to cover. I'm getting it up now. We have the weirdest story, which is the first patient to communicate via a brain implant. And one of the first things that he asked for was to listen to Tool, but loud.
He also wanted a beer and curry.
What I liked about that is they said it takes him like a minute or two just to for every letter.
Wow.
I mean, at that point though, maybe he should have asked for the Who just because that's fewer letters. Although that might have been confusing. You ask for Who loud?
Yeah. Or asked for his son's name is Hugh, H-U-G-H. He was actually asking for his son.
Ooh, awkward.
They gave him heavy metal instead.
Like, no, I only listen to opera.
By the time
Well, you want to watch Oprah?
by the time he thought out his discomfort, it was 2 hours later.
Yeah. There was a shift change.
And he was a confirmed Tool fan by that point. So
It's really hard to get the song out of your head when you are unable to move, and the nice hospital staff thinks that's what you want. We just rewatched The Good Place, and they have a thing towards the end of that series where every time the bad guys get together, they always have some variation of Grandma's Got Run Over by a Reindeer playing in the music in the background. Like they have the dance party. It's just Grandma got run over by a reindeer on a loop. It's like that.
Grandma got run over by a reindeer.
So let's see. After 50 years, curators have uncorked an Apollo moon rock sample that's been, I guess, stored in a vacuum.
Okay.
For my entire life.
Like a time capsule that was sealed for posterity, one of the last unopened Apollo-era lunar samples collected during Apollo 17 has been opened.
Unleashing what would later be called the moon plague.
Yep.
The moon plague.
99% of the Earth. And
remember, aim for the brain. That moon plague ain't messing around.
Awakens the people who live inside the hollow Earth. And
hey, it's University of Michigan's aeroastro professor Thomas Zurbuch, and who's now the associate administrator of NASA.
I bet.
Remember him?
I bet that's one of those guys
that's our guy.
That Cliff can call on an extension number from his landline.
Well, I would think so. He's got him on the red phone. Well, I guess it would be a blue phone for NASA.
Have either of you ever seen the movie Apollo 18?
Yes, it's fantastic. That's not very good.
It's schlock, and it's great.
I'd expect you to say that. Now, it was okay. I thought it was all right. There's, in the grand tradition of Capricorn 1, the only thing that was missing was O.J. Simpson.
Ooh.
I mean, if you're a fan of spiders, that might be the movie for you.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm just
better than that weird Brad Pitt one.
Right. Well, I was just going to say is I'm pretty much a fan of any movie that their primary design aesthetic is like Apollo era technology and they try to do something cool with it.
Yeah. What was the Apple Plus show? For All Mankind?
Yeah, For All Mankind. That show ended last season really good.
Yeah.
I continue to enjoy
they
that.
Buttoned it up.
The show they play fast and loose, but I really enjoy it. But like I've been saying, you put Apollo era tech into literally anything, and that's +3. That's like a bonus star on the Mulder rating.
So unfortunately, Rob, I think I'm speaking for Rob Roseman when if you like something just enough, I'm really worried about the quality.
That's fair. That's fair.
See, that's the weird thing about
you think it's
Rob
anecdotal
Mulder.
or
Rob Mulder has great taste in some movies.
Okay.
And then others, not so much. So you don't exactly know how
You're an
how
enigma.
the determination of what is good and what isn't work.
I
You're an
think
enigma
the
wrapped in a
major thing
mystery.
for you, Rob, is that I have sort of this mental concept of the 3-star, 5-star movie, which is
Mhm.
it's not a good movie, but it's got something about it that's special and
I
unique and interesting.
I think I've thought about this through the years,
Hmm.
and I think the difference is you have a love of the technical craft as much as you do the art of something. And that is
Sure.
something I do not share. I don't care about the specifics of how well something is made uh, from a technical standpoint, from the this is how you do this thing. I don't care about that, and you do. That's the difference.
Sure. I think what it comes down to for me is that I've got like 10 different things that I can enjoy a movie for.
Mhm.
Okay, it's Oscar week, right? Licorice Pizza is one of the big nominated movies.
What
Uh,
is that about?
it's set in the 70s. It's one of the Wes Andersons, or Paul
Hmm.
Thomas Andersons, one of those guys.
Anderson.
Yep, it's just one of the Andersons, Mr. Anderson. And
Mhm.
it's a 15-year-old, like with all the charisma in the world, and one of the girls from the band Haim, who's like the 25-year-old that he crushes on, and it's like all these weird like vignettes of little events in the 70s, like they sell water beds and he performs in a like a stage show and gets fired, all these little things. The thing about that movie that's cool is that it routinely has like these minute-long shots where like the camera's moving and people are talking, these really long oneers, but they're not like fancy oneers like a Steven Spielberg oneer. Like the opening of West Side Story is like this minute-long crazy shot with the camera going everywhere. This is just like long, confident takes where you're just watching the actors act. And that's the only thing about that movie that I really enjoyed, because I kind of found the movie boring. Uh,
Yeah.
but it's all style. But I
It,
love the long takes.
it's like Birdman. The
Yeah.
concept of that this is just one shot. While I guess it's neat. I don't really care about if the movie is terrible.
So, was it better or worse than Boogie Nights?
Worse. But I think Boogie Nights is really, really,
Well,
really
that's really
good.
good. Yeah. Is it
Yeah.
better or worse than trying to bring up the
I don't care for most of his
Paul
movies.
Thomas Anderson? Really?
Phantom Thread is like boring.
Yeah, Phantom Thread is no good.
And like, but that's the thing, is that like there are a lot of this year's Oscar nominees have a lot of kind of boring movies about like emotions and feelings and stuff.
Ugh,
And that's fine. I like that's great,
barf.
Yeah.
but like they're not
I've
Is he
plot
dating
driven.
Alana Haim? He's directed
I
like
don't think
every
so.
one of her
I have been
videos.
locked up in this house for 3 years now, a couple years of which with my wife. I don't want to learn more about the human condition.
Right?
We're living the human condition.
Right?
I want a story.
But for me, like, so if you want a big minus on a story, if you set your movie like 50 years ago and like really rigorously stick to a fashion sense for it, that's a hard sell for me. I don't generally care for
You don't
costume
like it?
dramas
So
unless you really nail it.
this is literally a costume drama.
Yes.
It's 50 years ago,
Yes.
1972.
I am aware.
So, all right.
And so for me, you've got a lot of strikes against it, but it's
I mean,
mostly just about
they may as well have
feelings.
called this like San Fernando Abbey, and just
I just so you know, Chris, when you said that 1972 is 50 years ago, I felt a pain in my heart.
Yeah.
Because I realized it was true.
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. Well, I mean, okay, so Power of the Dog is basically a movie,
So is that about a superpowered dog?
Yep.
You remember the superpowered dog?
It's Crypto.
What?
It's Crypto.
Was that?
That's Superman's dog.
Yeah.
Oh, Superman's dog. No, there was another one.
The one about the robot dog? Is that
No,
the one
not the
you're
robot
talking about?
dog. There was a different one. He was blue.
Oh, Cujo. That's what you're
Yeah,
right?
Cujo the blue dog. Blue Joe.
Old Yeller? The Fox and the Hound?
Is it Lassie?
No.
Are you thinking about Lassie?
No one's thinking.
Chris, are you in a well?
Lassie.
Well, anyway, what I was gonna say is the other one
needs
is
insulin.
Yep.
Underdog.
Oh, yeah.
How did I not remember Underdog? Man?
Well, anyway, I just want to
Speed of
say
Lightning.
the other one was Drive My Car. That's just a movie about people being sad for 3 damn hours.
Is it people who take cars?
It is not a
across the
Fast and the
country
Furious sequel.
No. They do it for the money. Instead of you paying a truck, they'll
No,
take it.
it's nothing like
Although
that.
that is a brilliant movie idea. It's basically Fast and the Furious, but everyone's morose, and they hate what they do.
The sad
There's
and
still all the action and all that stuff, but they're like, why are we doing this?
the sad and the serious.
And it's the sad and the serious, the diligent and the delirious. I don't know. But it's all starring 70s cartoon characters that didn't make it.
Right.
So,
Rob, have you watched Nightmare Alley yet?
I have not.
Okay.
That's where the dogs hang out from Power of the Dog.
Yeah, that's where the underdogs gather. I'm curious what your take on Nightmare Alley is at some point.
But what is Power of the Dog?
It's a Western.
Is it about dogs?
It's a Western,
dogs, right?
It's a Western about
Is it gay cowboys?
A cowboy dealing with his sexuality and like teaching a troubled youth about life, right?
I guess it's a story about depression and dealing with the repressed emotions and abuse, and like but it's not like a plot driven thing. It's like a character study, but it's a character study and a Western. And Westerns for me are another one. It's hard for me to enjoy a Western. You got to have a lot of style for me to be interested in a Western in 2022. I've seen a lot of Westerns.
Oh, and it's got handicap, cable patch.
Yeah, Bandersnatch.
It's got Meth Damon from
Meth Damon.
Bad.
But you know who it doesn't have?
Who?
Sam Elliott.
Oh, that's right.
You want to be seen dead in that movie.
No way. He's too cowboy for that cowboy movie.
I hate your style, dude.
All these people talking about their sexuality, that's got no place on the range.
That's got no place in
film. You're
an
actor. Yeah, moron.
And dude, if you really understood the history of cowboys, you know that there were young men who were together alone for months without seeing other people.
Right.
I hate to burst your bubble, but you know what happened a lot out there?
Some of them were friends.
Very good friends.
Very good
They
friends.
shook hands differently. Let's just say.
I mean, that's the thing, is the Power of the Dog was winning a ton of awards, but I mean, for me, whatever. Everybody's a good actor. It's really well crafted, but
I'm sure it's very well acted, very well crafted, but I don't.
Okay, so
I don't care about. I don't really like Westerns. They're kind of tired.
I get you. So Belfast is really good, and you should definitely watch it. King Richard, it's a sports story based on a real character, so you know how it has to end. Performances are fine, but I'm really sick of movies produced by the still living people that are the subjects of them movies, like the Queen movie that came out, the Elton John movie that came out recently. Tired of that.
Wait, so is Belfast about people who are alive today?
King Richard is about Will Smith is playing like the Williams sister's dad.
Oh. That sounds complicated. So they have a show coming out about it's a streaming series about the making of The Godfather.
Yeah.
So
I heard that's a crazy
offer. I heard it's actually I think it could be good. I'm actually looking forward to that.
Have either
it's on Hulu Plus, Paramount,
Plumper.
Plumper.
Have either of you watched Pam and Tommy?
I want
have
to.
not.
I watched the first episode.
Man.
The first episode
is
incredible,
good. Man.
It's on the list.
Yeah, that's one of the ones that's on the list for sure.
But it's one of those
fucking great.
It's one of those that the wife wants to watch too. So
it could be 3 years before you get
you
to
know
that one.
what that's like, guys.
Yep.
We just started Atlanta, me and Christine. So
man.
So what are you 2 episodes in now that you've been watching it for 3 months or something?
Pretty much. The wife and I decided
starting up again.
The wife and I decided to rewatch the original Cowboy Bebop anime, and those are only 20-minute episodes, right? That's easy. But it's been like 3 months now, and we're like on episode 18.
You're like, I'm tired.
I know. I'm looking at the other Oscar nominees. Dune. I wish Dune would just win everything, but that's not how these things work. West Side Story is fine, but whatever. Coda had me crying a lot, but it's just a coming of age story. It's not really that
Is that the
special.
one about the cat?
Coda's the one about the Death family.
Oh yeah, you
Do
were
they own a
thinking
cat?
about Escape to Witch Mountain, I think, Chris.
No, I was thinking about the one that Jordan Peele did with the cat.
Oh,
Oh
All the
Keanu.
cats.
yeah,
Keanu, yeah.
Yeah.
I
That's a
watched
bad
that
movie.
movie.
That's a bad movie. The other one,
I've been actually watching Keen Peele over again.
we rewatched a bunch of that. We just rewatched Chappelle too.
hmm
I remember
very
he
good.
dissed on them because he was like, they're just doing my show.
And it's not true though. I mean, they have their own thing going, you know.
Yeah.
Good. The other one was Don't Look Up. That was the other Best Picture
That's really
nominee. Yeah,
I mean, it's a fine movie,
it's fine.
but
It's nothing special.
Best Picture, right?
Too on the nose for
May-
my taste.
Maybe they needed something because Jane Campion's going to go up there and say, "Yeah, you know, the Williams sisters, they're no good at tennis like I am with the movies," and so they need like something to fall back.
That's true.
So they'll probably give it to King Richard just as a big, you know, middle finger to Campion.
Oh, did they not? Oh, they didn't give Macbeth a Best Picture nod. Wow, that's crazy.
Well, I mean, how many times do you have to redo the same damn?
You should watch that Macbeth.
I've got it. I haven't watched it yet.
It's kind of cool.
Is it another black and white thing like Belfast?
It's a black and white thing, but it's one of those
know-
things where the technical camera work is gorgeous.
So, okay, I was about to say, you know what? I don't have time for black and white bullshit anymore. I mean, it's pretentious and all the rest. And then I started thinking, you know what? I watched the first Halo episode, and it's very colorful and very Xboxy colored and rendered, and it would probably be better in black and white, you know,
Or at
it
least
needs,
just
it
like
needs some
muted.
roughing up, you know.
That's on my list to watch this weekend.
Well,
I
we'll
suppose.
talk about that when you do.
Well, that's the next thing on the list. Is it worth watching? That's a
probably not.
We call that a pregnant pause right there.
Yeah, right. Except for there was an ectopic pregnancy because of the Halo. So I was never really a huge fan of Halo, so I couldn't tell you if it's like, oh, fan, you know, I'm not like a Halo super fan, like a go around Master Chief cosplay. But it was strangely bloodless. I mean, there's blood and there's a lot of dying, especially in the first like 20 or 25 minutes. But and maybe the problem is I've never been a fan of Halo. So all these characters, I'm like, I don't give a crap about any of them.
Yeah.
And they're all acting like I'm super important to something.
That's the thing that
I don't
think
care. You know, they show Reach, and I'm like, it's just freaking Coruscant. It's Capital from the Ender Games.
That's the thing about all the new Star Wars and all the new Marvel movies is that they lean so much on the existing lore that when a character shows up, they don't explain it, and they're just like, here you are, everybody go wild. But you know, if you don't know who that is, it's kind of in the dark.
Yeah, and so I guess I'm not the target audience for Halo. What I did enjoy was watching for set pieces, helmets, armor pieces that are from earlier science fiction shows. So like there's the Starship Trooper helmet shows up like 45 minutes in, you know, because they made so many of those. There's all kinds of things. You're like, oh, I remember that from the Expanse. They used that when they were on the weird planet outside the rings, you know, like. You know, so that was super fun because I love science fiction. But it was, I mean, you should watch it, but you'll come away like it's like if you eat something, you know, it's like food that you eat, but it doesn't have any taste.
Like
and it fills your stomach
replicator
for
food?
a bit. It's no, if replicator food was really terrible, right? I'd imagine it tasted good at some point, right?
They made a comment about it on a recent episode of Picard about how it's not as good as the real thing.
They've often talked about how replicator food tastes different.
That's some retcon bullshit.
No, that's always been in the show.
Tea Earl Grey hot? Screw you. You're telling me he had replicated Earl Grey tea that he didn't like when he could have just dropped a tea bag in?
That's not what we're saying.
Precious tea.
They're just saying it doesn't taste the same. Some people like NutraSweet.
Well, it's really important that we, you know, I'll up-age myself for you, Picard. This is not canon. I don't accept that this is even a Star Trek show.
Do you know how hard it is to heat up water and put a tea bag in it?
It's really hard. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
So
especially
I mean,
in space.
you have to use the replicator.
It's space water.
Because well, I mean, it makes the cup too.
Yeah,
right. So
every time. That's the one thing I wonder. Are they just in a bin and just keep recycling cups?
I just assume there's just a big room where all the dishes are just thrown.
Well, if you have a replicator, you have a de-replicator. I mean, probably all the sewer pipes all go to the de-replicator, and all the trash goes to the de-replicator.
And you don't want to see who's in charge of the de-replicator.
They never highlight the sewer technician.
That's what I wanted from Lower Decks.
The engine engineer. What's that? You wanted that from Lower Decks?
Yeah,
Did they give it to you?
No, that's what I want in Lower Decks. I want there to be the guy whose job it is to de-replicate all of Captain Jean-Luc Picard's teacups. Thousands of teacups.
In every Star Trek, there's that eventual janitor episode, like, look at those great heroes up on the bridge. I so admire them. And that was on Deep Space Nine. It was on Babylon 5.
That science project looks like it's breaking. I better press this button.
Yeah, and then he Goodwill hunting something and saves the ship and gets in trouble because he shouldn't have done it. Or it's all crap,
good job, well-meaning ensign.
So tiresome.
I'm sorry.
Stargate did it. Everybody.
It's a trope. It's like the time loop.
But they don't actually want to talk about poop. So it's just like a guy with a mop.
That's true.
A space mop.
So you guys will be unsurprised to know that this week's episode of Picard was not as good as the.
What?
I know.
But that's impossible.
Because I was serious about giving up. I haven't watched it. I'm not going to.
I'll let you know if you want to pick that up. But here's the thing about this episode. You can straight up skip it because no character changes really in any meaningful way. One of the plots is basically just two characters are going to a different place. Another character arc is just the Allison Pill character arc is just a continuation. Nothing changes.
You have so much humanity. You're not going to become part of the Borg.
Right.
Go lick the Borg Queen's ear. Now kiss. It's like
they
never mind. I'm back in.
They got the
I'm back in, Chris.
So they recast Guinan. So we now meet young Guinan.
There's a young Guinan?
Young Guinan.
That seems disrespectful to Whoopi Goldberg. Did she go off against the Jewish people again?
I don't know nothing about that, Chris.
Did she get canceled? No, she did something like
she was canceled for like 2 weeks from The View.
Yeah,
I don't remember the details.
That doesn't matter.
But no, they have to if they're gonna have these shows last, they have to recast Guinan and they have to recast Picard. They have to recast these old people.
No.
Wait. So who did they recast
the
her
android
with?
body?
Oh yeah.
If they recasted her with like Aisha Taylor or something, that'd be kind of cool. She's really neat.
The woman that they have playing the part did a fine job, but the story is kind of irrelevant because he just basically goes and finds her and she's like, okay, you go to this place. And so all of the characters literally are just doing the same thing or traveling to a new location to continue the same thing. There's no change in any meaningful way for any of these characters.
I'm gonna workshop an idea here, and it's gonna cause Robert Roseman to say that would be a better show than Picard. So what we're gonna do, okay? I'm gonna go to IMDb. All right, and I'm gonna put in Whoopi Goldberg, and we're gonna take one of the first or second Goldbergs and replace the actors
Evan
with
Goldberg?
that other Goldberg. So the first one is Bill Goldberg, who I think is a wrestler.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a better show already.
Right. So we have Bill Goldberg for Whoopi Goldberg. So Patrick Stewart, we're going to replace Patrick Stewart with no, come on, man.
I'm just thinking about what the remake of Big Sister Act would be like.
Okay.
With Goldberg.
So the first
Rob,
alive.
Rob,
the
you
first
deserve
alive Stewart in the list is Kristen Stewart.
Ooh.
So I'm actually on board. Okay.
You know what we just watched last night? Kristen Stewart reminded me of Kirsten Dunst, of course. We watched Drop Dead Gorgeous. That movie is way better than it deserves to be.
It was fun. I remember it being fun, although it's been a very long time.
It does not age well because it very much leans into very inappropriate language for modern times.
Yeah, you know my feelings on that.
Sure. They're dirtbag people. Of course they use dirtbag language, but
So there's so since Pill is such an unusual last name, we're
Yeah.
gonna use Allison,
oh, well, that's
her
easy.
first name.
Can it be Allison
And-
Brie?
I was gonna
Nope.
say Allison Brie for Rob.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
she is the most popular Allison that isn't just like some random person. So it would be Allison Brie or Ali Larder. The only person who could make Picard worse is Ali Larder. She's a terrible actor.
All I
Um,
know is I really hope they have an episode where someone struggles with the concept of currency, since supposedly they don't have that. So they, it's
Yeah.
about them shopping for
Oh,
groceries.
They made a
dark
joke
horse
about it.
candidate. Dark horse candidate to replace Allison Pill. Allison Hannigan.
Oh,
Huh?
I'd watch that.
Yeah, right. So Allison Hannigan.
But I like Allison Pill.
Goldberg, the wrestler Goldberg,
Definitely.
and Kristen Stewart are exploring the universe. There you go. This is a better show. A better show.
That might be. It doesn't exist.
Someone give us millions of dollars and we'll do it.
No, see, you can't produce this because it's got to be based on pre-existing IP. Otherwise, you don't produce it anymore. So what the real thing we got to do is we got to find some IP that's not being monetized right now, and then cast it crazy.
We just gotta get hooked up with like
replace
Apple
John
or
Delancey?
Netflix because they're still dropping money on new projects.
That's
right.
true.
They would totally fund the WWE Star Trek. They've got the nerve.
Sure.
They got the stomach.
Engage, brother.
Engage, brother.
The ship takes off, right?
Right.
I mean, hell, they paid for that one wrestler guy to do that stupid Guardians of Justice. They do this.
Sir, please just press the button on the console. You don't need to smash it with folding chairs.
Yes, I do.
It works like just with the button.
Yeah.
They give the Ferengi the people's elbow. It's all over.
The thing is, it wouldn't be that different from Discovery because most episodes of Discovery now feature a very long monologue where somebody just talks about their feelings, and whoever talks about their feelings the most wins, whatever's happening in the episode. It's the same thing in wrestling, right? You just yell a lot, and whoever yells the most, they win.
There's lots of blood and crying, so that was kind of Picard season 1. And then you could just do this. Goldberg.
Whoa.
So
that's freaking me out, man.
Goldberg. So I'm for those of you listening on the podcast, all one of you, I'm zooming into Goldberg.
So much Goldberg.
So much Goldberg.
Evan Goldberg, producer of.
But I am more entertained by this than by the entire first season of Picard.
Well, that's fair. The entire first season of Picard is garbage. All I was saying is I enjoyed the setup.
Tire fire.
I enjoyed the setup of the first 3 episodes of season 2. Episode 4 was garbage.
I think we've already had this discussion.
All right. FBI trolls Russian embassy. this is weird.
Yeah, they basically geofenced like some ads and stuff.
Yeah.
And said, "Hey, are you in the Russian embassy right now? Because if you are,
are you a Russian spy? Do you not want to be a Russian spy anymore?
Here you go.
Cross the street."
Yeah.
Wow. I guess I wouldn't know like how locked down the internet would be in those places. Like it seems like that might be one of the few places where you could get unfettered internet access because you would want your intelligence organization to have access to the full breadth of the internet.
Well, no, they absolutely have full access, and also everyone's got a cell phone. Even Russians have cell phones now, Rob.
Yeah, but they're all operating through towers. They're filtered.
No, they probably.
When maybe inside, but they go out for a smoke. They're Russians, so
So they go out and they smoke. They drink
unfiltered cigarettes.
As Russians do,
right?
They don't let us smoke inside anymore ever since Putin gave up cigarette smoking.
What is this ad here?
Oh.
I was looking on Monster.com and I found this ad.
Unfortunately, it's the same ads that they used to sway the voters in the last election. So it's just all stuff about Hillary's emails.
And they go into load up their Facebook, and it's just full of, turn your back on your country ads and stuff like that.
Mhm. Yeah, man.
That checks out. I'm gonna.
So disappointing.
I think that's really funny.
Oh, well, it's a great tactic. I don't know if
I
it
can't
did
imagine it
anything,
works.
But I like the idea of, so America, we're not going to really fight. Maybe we should have some guns or something. But in the end, what we're really good at is shit posting.
Right.
So lean into what you're good at,
Yeah.
America.
We're just
And
super
it turns
Twitter.
out it's shit posting.
Yeah. Anybody else see anything good lately? Because that's all that we've got.
No.
On
Well,
the zone.
the first episode of Atlanta was
Sorry,
really.
Rob.
I've saw nothing good.
Rob has seen nothing good.
For sure, in the last 24 hours, I've seen nothing good.
I don't know. I heard you had a CD that you wanted to share.
I do have that CD. But do you guys have a computer that has a CD drive anymore?
I have an external CD drive that you could probably borrow.
Yeah, actually, there's like one that has a vestigial CD drive.
It was just weird to me that
I gave my
me
CD
that
drive
CD.
to Peter Norvig. He still has it, and I haven't missed it.
Yeah, it's just not a thing anymore.
And like when they gave me the pictures from my surgery on my shoulder, it was on a USB key.
Yep.
Because last time it was all the imaging.
That's what you get for living in
CDs
in fancy places.
Right.
Over here, they give you a CD.
Over there, they give you like a fax printout.
Like, what the hell am I supposed to do with this? You might as well give it to me on
Betacam
8-track.
That's
Betacam 8-track.
No,
thanks.
so did I tell you? So I went in for my follow-up appointment, right? And the doctor's like, so your other shoulder it got dislocated too and fixed 2 years ago, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, because I was going to tell you, if your left shoulder looked anything like your right shoulder when I went in there, it's basically going to pop off at any time. And I'm like, wait, what?
Oh.
He's like, yeah, so you've been skiing since you were a kid, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, do you fall a lot? And I'm like, well, that's part of skiing. It's falling, right? And he's like, okay, yeah, because basically you've got like this ring like here, right? And your shoulder sits in that ring. And that's the glenoid process or whatever the hell it's called. And he's like, and when someone dislocates like you do, they usually smoosh part of that ring, and then we fix that with the bank card repair, which is what we did with you. But usually the rest of the ring is there. In your case, it was all sort of smooshed down through years of kind of abuse. And
being
I'm like,
ground off.
He's like, yeah. So basically, if you hadn't dislocated this shoulder, you would have dislocated the shoulder at some point.
Eventually, your arm's just falling off.
Yeah, basically, I'm arm fall off guy.
Oh yeah, you're TDK.
I'm TDK.
Awesome.
Yeah. So it was really something, and I'm like, it's like you're being told, that thing you thought was working okay. Yeah.
Nope.
You were on borrowed time, and I'm like, what? Seriously? So.
It's not good when the thing that you're referring to in that context is a critical part of your body.
Well, it keeps your shoulders where they belong, So, but I'm bright as rain. Should be good through my death,
No, so you're gonna go skiing next week.
Yeah.
No, I can't go skiing. This season is probably over. I'm not going to go and like ski in late April or something.
No, you go and sit in the lodge. Just be cool. Like wear the boots.
Well, so 2 years ago, what happened was, I had the dislocation, I had the surgery, and it was about a month later, I was skiing in a sling. Right?
Oh, I remember. That's not good.
No, it was still skiing.
That's not good.
And then, so this year, I had the dislocation after about 10 days of skiing. Then I went home for a week. Then I went back out to ski about a week, 2 weeks. And I had about a 2-week break, and I skied in a sling for 15 days. So, and it hurt like hell.
Chris, I feel like you might be part of the problem.
I think that might be true. So,
remember, there are Apollo moon rocks that have been sitting in a vacuum for 50 years. Maybe it's time for you to be put into a vacuum for the next 50
the
years.
people have to breathe, right?
Well, for a little while.
Yeah, with that kind of attitude, they do.
That's Quentin talk.
Turns out you only have to breathe for like a couple minutes, and then after that, not so much.
Can I tell you another thing that's really cool about the modern age? and this was true 2 years ago too. You can watch a video of like an instruction video on how to do the surgery they're gonna do on you, and
And then
there's even like
compare.
animations and stuff. It was really cool. Like, so because what they do is they basically drill holes and put drywall anchors in and rebuild your process. It was really cool. So hobbies, and skiing is not a hobby. It's how I keep from ballooning the size of this house. But yeah. So
All right, friends. Let's say goodbye.
All
right.
Goodbye to Rob Roseboom.
Goodbye.
Goodbye to Chris DeBona.
Bye.
And I was Rob Commander Taco Maldo. That was episode 704 of Geeks in Space. We'll see you next time. Bye.